Have you been through Dubai International Airport recently? If you have, you may have noticed something potentially new at the gates. Biometric cameras quietly sort of tracking passenger movements through immigration and potentially boarding. In fact, Emirates, we found out last week that they'd rolled out 200 of these biometric cameras across T3 with the aim of making airport journeys faster, smoother, and eventually, fingers crossed, passport free as well. But now we're sort of managed to speak to the company who actually make these cameras. So this morning we're hoping to find out sort of how this technology works, where it's being used and what does it mean for the future of air travel. Joining me live in the studio is Rous. He's VP of Middle East and Africa for EMEA Airports and Borders at the company Amadeus, and they are the company behind much of the tech that power smart airports around the world. Chris, welcome to the agenda. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
We are really excited because we have been trying to find you for ages. Who's doing it where? Yeah. And, I find this fascinating. I welcome it. I really do. Explain to me for a start, what do these cameras actually do? Like, how do they identify us?
Okay. So, first of all, the fact that you struggle to find us. We're very good at providing technology, and we're very good at providing that to the airlines and airports globally and borders as well. So you won't necessarily see us at the forefront, but you see us behind the scenes to basically make everything work. Now, to your question about cameras, we use them in multiple ways. One is to do the actual registration, and that has everything to do with consent. So we cannot take, or we, including the airline, cannot take simply passengers' information and use it without their consent. So the registration part is a key step in that process. Then the actual use of the data that we have and providing that data and using that data is then something we do throughout the journey. So that starts typically in the recent past. We used to do that only at the airport. So the moment that you get to a check-in kiosk, which is ours, the self-backdrop machines in T3, which are ours, all of them have been equipped already with biometric cameras. The check-in desks, same thing. You see the black devices there on the check-in desk. Those are biometric cameras as well.
Are they the little ones, like right in front of you?
Yeah, the square ones. The square ones that you've seen before. So gradually, we've been deploying this technology already in the airport to use it. And the same, for instance, when you get to the lounge. We're using it there to recognize you.
I'm afraid I've never used one, so
okay, well, I'm sure Emirates will sort that out for you. But the thing is, when you go then further on, when you get to the actual gate, we use it there again to use it for boarding. So we were already able to do quite a lot in that process. Now, what's extra is that we're also doing it now on the Emirates app. So you can do your biometric enrollment and providing your consent before you get to the airport. Meaning that the moment that I get to a check-in backdrop, for example, there I don't need to provide my consent. I don't need to provide the registration anymore because that's already done. So the whole process becomes much faster and seamless.
So before I fly, I need to go to Emirates app, consent to my biometric data being used. I'm assuming, do I have to upload a photograph or something like that on the app?
You do. So we do take the passport information then. But again, it's consent at different steps in the process. If you choose to do it at the airport, that's perfectly fine as well. Then at that point in the process, we'll be asking for your consent, or Emirates will be asking for your consent. So, okay, fine, this is okay to use.
And that means check-in, my face would be scanned by these cameras and they would know it's me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to hand over my passport.
That's the idea.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And then when I go through security, no passport.
Correct.
Again, at the gate. I'm trying to think if there's any other touch points. I don't think there are.
The lounge.
That's why I don't know.
That's
I've never been.
One.
But yeah, I mean, that is amazing because the hardest thing for me, I think, and I hope our listeners think the same, but where when you have passports, you're always rustling around in your bag for them. I've travelled, with the children a lot. Yeah. Sadly, you have to be 18 to use this service, don't you?
You have to be, typically it's 18 years old.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to get my children to stand still long enough to have their face scanned. You've said where we'll see these 200 biometric cameras. They're just in T3, right? They're nowhere else at the minute.
For Emirates, they are in T3. Now, we can do that, of course, across the airport as well. At the same time, we provide, for instance, all the border checkpoints. All that hardware that you see there as well is Amadeus technology as well.
Okay. How secure is the biometric data that's being collected?
Well, that's the essential part, isn't it? It all comes down to the trust of the traveler. Our philosophy for all the solutions that we provide is that we have privacy by design included. Now, we don't maintain the data. So we provide the technology. We don't own the data ourselves. We don't keep that in our systems. But still, the technology that's been developed, we make sure that at least the privacy is there so that all those checks and balances are being done.
So it would be the airline that holds the data and is responsible for looking after it?
It depends. Here in Dubai, it's not typically the airline, but it really depends on the setup, how you use it and where you use it in the process.
And why do you think, Emirates, I'm using as an example because they're the ones that are using these cameras. Why are they rolling this out now?
Look, we've been working with Emirates, and quite proudly, I have to say, for many, many years on different processes. When it comes to biometrics, when it comes to self-service. If you go back, I think it's 7 years ago now, it was during COVID where we deployed the first self-service units in T3. So that journey with Emirates has been going on and on for the last 10, 15 years or so. Now, what you're seeing now is that the technology is becoming more mature. The step that we were missing in a way was still to be able to do that off airport as well. So doing that on your mobile device. And you see the same thing this morning. Your colleagues were talking about Morafic providing the off-airport check-in service. So we do see that airport basically extending more and more into the home environment or your hotel or wherever you are, rather than doing all the processes at the airport itself.
I mean, that's amazing. If I can have my suitcases checked in at home,
Precisely.
and then I don't need to get my passport out when I go through the airport, this really is a step forward in terms of paperless travel, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Is Dubai leading the way globally, do you think? Or are other airports doing the same with this?
There are airports that are doing something similar. At this scale, Dubai is leading the way. So that's definitely one of the things which is unique here in the city and in the Emirate. Now, the other thing that we're doing beyond that is to say, how can we use the same kind of technology and to use that for different touch points in the journey. So we're not talking about airports and airlines only anymore then, but how can we use that, for instance, with hotels? We've deployed it in Miami with a cruise company there for border crossing into the US. I think it was this morning that I read an article which makes a lot of sense, that we're getting one of the train stations for Etihad Rail to be part of DWC Maktoum, meaning that you start to take that journey again earlier and earlier in the process, rather than just coming to the airport and there, okay, what do I have to do now? Do I need to take out my passport and what do I do next?
This doesn't mean that if you forget your passport, you can get on a plane though. You actually have to have your paper copy with you.
You will still need to have your paper copy. Yeah, we're not yet there that globally you can do this everywhere. I suppose if you look many, many years ahead, hopefully we'll be able to be in that position at some point. The good thing is that, for instance, Apple, because we're working closely with Apple, for instance, using their wallet technology. When you look at what Apple's doing now, they're getting to a point where they can put a US passport inside the wallet, fully secure.
Amazing.
And trusted by the US authorities.